And one of the top developments that we are tracking from China is coming in with respect to the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit that strongly condemned terrorism in all its forms and manifestations, including the April 22nd Pahalgam attack. The Tianjin Declaration that was signed and adopted by all 10 members called for an end to cross-border movement of terrorists. Member countries, including China and Turkey, expressed deepest sympathy and condolences to the family of the victims and stressed that the perpetrators, organizers and sponsors of such acts must be brought to justice. 26 people were killed on April 22nd after armed terrorists opened fire on tourists in J&K's Pahalgam. Earlier addressing the summit, Prime Minister Narendra Modi had called upon member countries to take firm and decisive action to fight terror in all its manifestations. Without naming any country, Prime Minister Modi emphasized that there should be no double standards in dealing with terror.
हमें स्पष्ट रूप से और एक स्वर में कहना होगा कि आतंकवाद पर कोई भी डबल स्टैंडर्ड स्वीकार्य नहीं होंगे.
Prime Minister Modi also highlighted India's approach to strengthening cooperation under the SCO framework, while noting that India seeks greater action under three pillars: security, connectivity and opportunity.
SCO को लेकर भारत की सोच और नीति तीन मुख्य स्तंभों पर आधारित है. SCO as security, C connectivity, O opportunity.
President Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin took turns to take swipe at the West during the gatherings. Russian President Vladimir Putin said that the world needed a system that would replace outdated Eurocentric and Euro-Atlantic models and take into account the interest of the widest circle of countries. Putin also sought to defend his Ukraine offensive, blaming the West for triggering the war in the first place.
This crisis wasn't triggered by Russia's attack on Ukraine, but was a result of a coup in Ukraine, which was supported and provoked by the West.
That is a reference to Ukraine's 2013-2014 pro-European revolution, which ousted a pro-Russian president. He also added the second reason for the crisis is the West's constant attempts to drag Ukraine into NATO. In his speech, Chinese leader Xi Jinping slammed the bullying behavior from certain countries, a veiled reference to the United States. Xi told the SCO leaders that the global international situation was becoming more chaotic and entwined. Earlier in his bilateral with Prime Minister Modi, President Xi Jinping said that China and India are cooperation partners, not rivals, and that the two countries are each other's development opportunities rather than threats.
Fourth, adhere to fairness and justice, promote the correct view of World War II history, and oppose Cold War mentality, camp confrontation, and bullying behavior. It should be the right choice for China and India to be good neighborly friends and partners that help each other succeed and have the dragon and the elephant dance together.
Indian Prime Minister Modi also agreed that India and China are partners and that consensus far outweighs disagreement, adding that India is ready to view and develop the bilateral ties with China from a long-term perspective. And joining us on the broadcast is Adrian Gegis, writer and journalist, author of the biography Xi Jinping, the most powerful man in the world. He joins us live from Hamburg, Germany. Mr. Gegis, appreciate you joining us on the broadcast. Slew of developments, of course, over the last 24 hours. But images that have stood out over the last few hours were those of Modi with Putin and Xi Jinping together, and that one of Modi and Putin traveling in the same car. How do you view the Modi-Xi-Putin quote-unquote bonhomie vis-a-vis the US trade standoff with India?
Yes, this is a very complex situation. I mean, actually, Donald Trump is behaving like a useful idiot, one has to say, for Xi Jinping, because with these crazy tariffs of 50% against India, he forces India to join with China. Of course, anyway, it's certainly had been a good visit, and of course, it's necessary. China and India are big neighbors, so they have to talk to each other. But in fact, there are very big differences. I mean, you remember the border conflict and 20 Indian soldiers killed in 2020. But now, of course, because of this behavior of Donald Trump of the United States, Xi Jinping can present himself like a stable partner and try to also get India into this alliance against the free world. But one has to see India is a democratic country, while still the most other countries of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization are countries like China, like Russia, like Iran, which are not very democratic. And I think this is a problem for the world.
Yes, Mr. Gege's point taken, but Trump's trade advisor Peter Navarro once again targeted India over its Russian oil purchases. He said Prime Minister Modi's ties with Putin and Xi are undermining global stability. In fact, this came just a few hours before we even heard this latest statement coming in from the US Embassy in India, lauding India-US ties. Your quick analysis of these repeated attacks on one hand, and now we have that statement coming in from the US Embassy in India, hailing the ties that the country has with the country.
Yeah, I think absolutely Donald Trump is responsible for this bad situation which we have now. I mean, the democratic countries, Europe, the United States, and especially India as the biggest democracy in the world, they should join together their forces, also economically, but instead, Trump is bullying the other countries, is especially bullying India right now with these tariffs of 50%. And this, from a geostrategic point of view, is very bad, because this forces India to join with China, at least for a tactical maneuver to force the United States to change this bad behavior.
Right. Mr. Gegis, also to highlight here the remarks that came in from the Chinese president, mincing no words whatsoever. She said that the world must oppose bullying Cold War mentality. Do you see this as a direct message to the US over the weaponization of trade?
This is absolutely a message to the United States, and this message is understandable. On the other hand, I mean, we have to see Xi Jinping is talking a lot about a multipolar world. This sounds very nice, but in fact, he wants Chinese hegemony. He's also bullying other countries like Taiwan, like the Philippines. So he does not want to be equal with other countries like India. He wants to have the leadership himself. And this is not about China and the Chinese people. I mean, China is a great country with a great culture and great history. This is about the Communist Party under the leadership of Xi Jinping. And he is speaking nice words. He's speaking like the Chinese dragon should dance with the Indian elephant. But these are nice words. He should do something. For example, take back the Chinese troops from the Indian border, including occupied territories. Then we would see that these are not only words, but that he really wants peace, which I doubt.
Yes, Mr. Gegis, point taken, and it will be, of course, interesting to watch out for whether we will see any headway as far as India-US trade standoff is concerned. Appreciate you joining us on the broadcast.
Thank you.